Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's having a fabulous Tuesday. It is the last week in January. Can you believe it? I just sent out the February planner this morning. So, yeah, we're ready to start a new month. Who do we have? We have Karen. I think Karen put looking forward to this one like a long time ago. So I'm super excited. Yeah, it says 21 days ago, but I like the enthusiasm. I don't know if Karen's still here. Diana, Dawn. Oh, there was an earthquake. Oh no. Yeah, I hope everybody in your family is okay. I didn't even know that. Diana, Mountain Home, Idaho. Karen, hello everyone. Greetings from England. Wow, that is not close to San Diego. Reina, hello there from Fort Lauderdale. Patricia from San Antonio. I know Patricia. I know Jessie from Ontario. Denise, good afternoon from Boynton Beach, Florida. Veronica, hello. Diana waves. Matt, hi. Karen, I haven't slept for 21 days. What? Yes, Karen has been on here for 21 days, just waiting anxiously. Veronica from Italy, Asha from Minnesota, and greetings from Germany. Nice. All right, so underneath me, there should be a little link, and it should say download the workbook. So it's the workbook for today. Because you know me, I like making workbooks, I like making planners. I always feel like when I go to a webinar, like you're hosting a party, and I feel like you should give party favors, right? If you were at my place, we would obviously have cupcakes. That's what I would serve because we know that's what I like to eat and I like to bake them. So I'd probably serve them. That's not true. I'd probably order Baked by Melissa cupcakes because they're special and they're little and they're easy to eat and chat with. Whereas like a big cupcake, you have to unopen it. These are the things I think about when I think about hosting a party. Chris from Michigan. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you and hopefully it will work. I didn't even ask if you can hear me. I'm assuming you can. So let's just assume everything will work perfectly today. All right, so don't have a lot of slides for you. It's kind of short today. We will be in and out in 30 minutes. Like I always say that, and then we go like 75 or 90 minutes, but I think today will be short. It's like short and quick. Want to do an info session, but want to give you 7 reasons too, like why I think writing every day would be a good thing to do. So let's go ahead. You have the workbook. Hopefully you saw today's February planner. I'm assuming if you're here, you're somebody who likes to plan. Otherwise, you just wake up and you'd be like, I think I'm just going to try writing every day. I am obviously a planner, like probably a little scary about how much I do planning to the point where it's like militaristic. But I think I would have made a really great event planner. And I know this is silly, I think I would have made an excellent secretary. Like I'm really good at like managing other people's time and their schedule and logistics and how long it takes to get places. But anyways, we're just going to go through really quick. Like I said, who am I? Top reasons to write. And I have 2 giveaways, and you guys are so lucky because I think there's like not a lot of you here, which is totally fine. I want people who are interested. But because there are not a lot of you here, you'll have a higher likelihood of winning the 2 planners that I'm giving away. It's kind of like the lottery, right? Like if nobody enters, you have a higher likelihood of winning. All right, how to join the beta club. We'll talk about how much it costs because I know everyone's wondering what that's going to be, and you're going to be super surprised. And then the second giveaway, which is the Author Girl Boss Notebook. So I will just show you the giveaways now, and if you can see them. Actually, let me make this smaller. So this is that Goal Crazy Planner. It's still wrapped in its nice cellophane plastic, untouched by the world. So this is yours if you win the first one. And then the second one is the Author Girl Boss Notebook, which is just a really cute notebook. It says Author Girl Boss on it and it has some dot grid pages inside. And this was in my video that I did last week on my notebook system. And I did buy a few of these. Anyways, I think they're cute and I like them. So I wanted to share them if you guys like them too. Hi, Antonio from Seattle, or Antonia from Seattle. Diana, you're hired. Marilyn. Hey, Marilyn. Hey, Joni. Hi from the Netherlands. Wow, we have so many international people. That's awesome. All right, so let's go back to the slides, which I will share with you so you can see them. All right. So who am I? I think everybody knows. I always like to say this because I know everyone has so many different pen names, and I never ever like created pen names to like hide my identity or anything. Seaford is hard to spell. Like, I know it's like, if you're German, you probably know how to spell Seaford, but people get it wrong all the time. So that is my real name. Lisa London is the name I chose for romance. And then Lisa Latte is actually the name I chose for cozy mysteries. And who helped me? My friend Alana Albertson actually helped me pick that out. She's really good at like coming up with blurbs and like book cover names and all that stuff. So if you wanted to harness her like creative brain power, she actually does one-on-one coaching if you go to alanaalbertson.com. But anyways, that's how I came up with the Cozy Mystery pen name. And if you want to stay connected or chat with me more, see what's going on, just follow me on Insta stories. I pretty much only post to Lisa Latte books right now. I used to post to Lisa London and to Pretty Fabulous Designs, but I barely ever do that. It's really hard to maintain multiple Instagram and social media accounts. Something to think about if you're thinking about writing in multiple genres and creating branding for all of them. It's a real challenge. And I don't even have a day job. This is like my full-time job, just writing an online business, and I can't even keep up. So anyways, let's go into our top 7 reasons. So we have the top 7 reasons. Do I have a giveaway in there? I do. So once we make it through the top 7 reasons, we will do the first giveaway. Sound good? All right, I can kind of see, let me move this screen over. I can see your comments. If you're joining on YouTube, just make sure to join us over on Crowdcast, because that's where the workbook is. And that's the only place I can see comments. It's just too many screens. I do have a 34-inch ultra wide, but I would probably need like a 50-inch ultra wide to see all 3 of them. So just letting you know. Joni DeVries, in the Netherlands, people always get my first name wrong. I could see that. All right, so here we go. Reason number 1. I really think it makes it less intimidating. I don't know about you, but like, have you ever you have a word count goal, like especially during Nano, you're like, I'm going to write, I can't remember what it is, like 1,600 words a day. And then you're like, okay, I guess I missed today. Not a big deal. I will do double the word count tomorrow. And then the next day comes and goes and you're like, all right, so I missed 2 days, not a big deal. I will just make it up the next day on Wednesday. I'll just write an extra couple hours. And then of course, Wednesday comes and goes and you miss that too. So what happens, it's kind of like a snowball effect. And then by the time you get to the weekend, it's like such a huge, colossal task. You're like, I could never get this done. And you do one of 2 things. You're like, this is so crazy. I only have 8 hours to write, but really I need a 15-hour block of time to do all the writing that must be done in order to make the goals that I've set, so that you end up not doing it at all. So if you can write every day, I think it becomes like less of a big deal. And I used to do this too. I used to love saying you don't have to write every day. Like, just because I don't write every day doesn't mean I'm not a writer. And I would just say, I'm going to do weekends only. And what happened was I was behind on other things. So I had to do other things on the weekend, or honestly, sometimes I just wanted to do fun things. And so it just became this colossally huge task that I kept pushing off, because as time went on, I like wasn't doing stuff. I like had, just like you, I'm like, I start each year and I'm like, I'm going to put out 6 books, right? Because I'm going to just put out 2 books a month. Not a big deal. I can totally do it. I cannot totally do it. So that's why I've switched over to the write every day thing. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. Emily made it. I wish I wrote every day. You can still do it. Joni, same. I can make a word count, but the next day read what I've written in horror and delete 80% of it, Karen. Yeah, sometimes I don't know if anyone saw my video. I got rid of word counts. Like, so now I'm just going by word time, like writing time versus word count goals. Because sometimes I will write stuff that is like totally pointless just to make the rest of the word count, or I'll extend a paragraph unnaturally just so I can say I finished that chapter or something silly like that, or up to my word count. So anyways, reason number 2 is it all adds up. So like, even though, because I kept thinking, like, I'm going to wait till I have this 12-hour or 16-hour block of time, and then I'm going to write, 10,000 words or something, right? And, and not making fun, because I know that there are a lot of author tubers out there that are like, we're going to do the 10,000 word challenge. And that's awesome. if you were built like that. But I'm actually not built like that. And clearly, I think I'm built like that. I think I'm going to do this like 16-hour block and I can't do it. So instead, I feel like if you just kind of add up, like even if I never do a 10,000 word day, if I literally just do 30 minutes every day, it's still going to be better for me at the end of the month than trying to do a 10,000 word day for me personally. So I feel like it's just like when you have your savings account and they're like, I feel like honestly, I don't think I've really done this since I was a kid where you get money from your parents and you're like, oh, I got some money. Let me just stick a couple quarters in the little piggy bank and let me stick $1 in here. And then all of a sudden you have like enough money to go buy, I don't know, something silly at Toys R Us, even though I know Toys R Us doesn't exist anymore, but it did when I was a kid. So I feel like this is kind of that same thing where everything kind of adds up. Oops. As you go. I gave up, Diana, I gave up on word count goals. Yes, another word count goal person. Joni, that is way too relatable. Karen, what did Karen say? Oh, the word count, yeah. Denise, yes, time over word count, love it. Tina, hi from Central Florida. Hey, Tina. All right, so reason number 3, practice makes perfect. If anyone has ever read Malcolm Gladwell, first of all, I think he's a genius, like him himself is a genius. I love reading his stuff. And he's one of those authors that has made a really great career and living and personality and brand out of simply reinterpreting facts, history, and figures that's already out there. He's not really, I don't want to say he's not creating original content, but he's providing more of a commentary, right? This is an excellent example of someone who is not writing novels. He's simply taking things that are already out there and putting his own spin on it or reinterpreting it for you, which sometimes I think is what a lot of us are looking for, right? So he has this thing that says, if you can do something for 10,000 hours, that is what truly makes someone a genius. That's what creates, it's from his book called Outliers. And the whole premise behind Outliers is that there are these people like Mozart and Beethoven and NBA stars and football stars and athletes and all these things that are outliers because they have focused and concentrated all of their time and effort and practice on one particular task. And that task, that amount of time usually is 10,000 hours is what he's found. And that will make you a better writer and better at that particular skill. So if you think about it, like, I don't know how many hours you've put in, but like, I'm starting to track it now. Like, when will I get to my 10,000 hours? And so if you, I'm going to pull out a calculator because I'm not good at math. But if I wrote, let's say, just 1 hour a day, and let's use the 80-20 rule, right? So I'm only going to write 5 days a week, not 7 days. And so that's 5 hours times, what is that? How many days are in a week? 5 times, 52 weeks. That's 260 hours a year. So 10,000 divided by 260. So, okay, so in 38 years, I would get there, but maybe you could double that. So if you did 2 hours a day, then you'd get there in 20 years. If you did 3 hours a day, then you'd get there in 10 years. And then if you did 4 hours a day, you'd get there in 4 years, 5 years. I'm so bad at math. You know what I mean? So anyways, every little bit adds up. Emily, a little today is better than tomorrow's someday. Yes, but I struggle keeping a steady habit. Yeah, I mean, 80-20 rule, really with anything. Dawn, yes, I read Outliers. Gladwell writes books that we can relate to so well. Antonio, math, yeah, so hard. All right, so let's move on to something that doesn't have math. Number 4, it opens new doors. I really think, like, because writing's a skill, I don't think people realize, like, I did human resources for many years. We hire writers all the time in corporations, and there's not a lot of positions. There's like 1 or 2 where we needed people, like at GE Aircraft Engines. We hired technical writers to write manuals. None of the engineers wanted to do it. It didn't have to be someone with an engineering background. It just had to be someone who could write and take something that was very complex and put it into a document in a logical format that someone else could follow. When I was at a marketing company, and I still remember, it's called Closer Look. It's in Chicago. We hired a fiction writer to write the employee handbook because employee handbooks are boring. And if you've ever worked for a marketing company, they're always kind of like cool and hip and do different things. And so they were like, let's just hire someone who's really entertaining and fun and have him write our employee handbook. Obviously, as the HR person, I was a little mortified because I was like, we need to put this in legal wording. However, because it was funny and entertaining, people actually read it, which most of the time, nobody reads the employee manual unless they need something at that particular moment to be answered, like kind of like Wikipedia. So the whole point is the more you write, the better you get at writing and writing regularly, whether it's blog posts or magazine art. Like you could start doing extra writing for extra income, and it's not a big deal versus like right now, if I had to do extra writing, it's like so overwhelming because I can barely do my own writing, versus like maybe in another year, it's not going to be a big deal. I can just push something out, no problem, in 2 seconds. Emily, you've inspired me, Lisa, with your daily workouts. Oh, thanks. Yeah, the daily workouts. Like I didn't tell anybody. It's kind of funny. My boyfriend, it's on my mailing list, and he's like, I didn't even know that was one of your goals. And he lives with me, but it's kind of like just, it's a non-negotiable. That's kind of how I've been adding writing too. It's like, I don't think about it. And because I think if you give yourself that opportunity, whether it's a workout or writing or doing anything new, like if you have to think about it and you give yourself the opportunity to say, should I not? It's possible you might pick the wrong answer. It's kind of like brushing your teeth every morning, right? Everybody brushes their teeth, I hope. And it's like a non-negotiable. You don't think about it. It's not like, can I skip it today? Does it matter? Like, it's just something you're going to do. And I think with writing, if you can do that too, I think it just becomes like part of you, and it doesn't have to be something you struggle with anymore. Asha, how would you recommend getting started writing for companies? Oh, that's a great question. So it really depends on what you want to write. So if you want to write technical manuals, I think all you have to do, usually those jobs are posted. I always posted those. I never like sought out a writer or anything. Like for Closer Look, when we wanted the employee manual written, we sought out a writer, like just asking word of mouth. But for technical writing, we simply asked. I would also look at the keyword called communications. So communications is typically writers, whether it is, I mean, you'd be surprised at how much boring information that corporations want memorialized into a blog post. So when I was at big company, TD Bank, they had what's called SharePoint. And if anybody has ever used SharePoint, it's basically like an internal website for a company because it has more ability to, I guess it, what am I trying to say? Most people use Microsoft Outlook in corporations and big companies. And SharePoint obviously is another Microsoft product. So then everybody who's an employee automatically gets access to SharePoint, which is the internal website. So no, you never have to worry about someone getting access that isn't supposed to. Anyways, the point is we had all this data we wanted to put on SharePoint. We had a company barbecue. Who's going to write that up? I'm not going to write that up, right? Like I was like, I'm trying to do my own fiction writing. I don't have time to write this boring stuff. So there are so many positions out there for so much stuff that could be easily written. Because if you think about it, how interesting does the employee write-up about a family barbecue have to be? Not very, and it's not going to take you that much time. Same thing with things roll out. Same thing when we push out new company initiatives, right? Like we all want to go green, and so they need someone to write that. You might want to look at copywriters too inside companies. A lot of positions inside there as well. Denise, must add writing to non-negotiable daily routine. Yeah, just make it non-negotiable. I think my problem too is like, there are things that I shouldn't do that I put as not as like negotiable. Like, do I want to watch Netflix? Do I not want to watch Netflix? I think we all know the answer to that a lot of times. So if I just had it as a non-negotiable, like I always say to myself, you know what, I'm going to make it so Monday through Friday, I'm not allowed to watch Netflix, and I only like watch on weekends. That hasn't happened. However, if I did sort of make the switch, I think it would happen. There's a really good quote I saw the other day that said, you are one decision away from changing or from having a completely different life. And I really think that's true. Like if you can just make a different decision on certain things, then your whole life could change. If you see like back in the, I feel like 90s or maybe still now, whenever you see like that chick lit kind of 20s character having a midlife kind of crisis or whatever, she's always like, I just want to make good choices because that's really all life is just choices. Emily, Diana, dead. Asha, I love that quote. Yeah, I loved it. All right, reason number 5. We're getting there. Oh my gosh, it's 12:28. How do I do this? All right, I did start a little late, so technically I have some more time. All right, reason number 5, it will get easier. It seems overwhelming. It's like everything seems like harder at first. Like I feel like the more you do something, the easier it is. It's just like, I don't know if anyone has ever taken gymnastics when you were a kid. And so I remember wanting to do a back handspring, and I could do front walkovers, I could do cartwheels, I could do round offs, I could do the uneven bars, I could do anything where I could see forward, like where I was going and where I might fall and like wipe out. But anything backwards, like back walkovers, back bends, back handsprings, back flips, all of those things were super scary because I couldn't see it. So in gymnastics, what they do when you're, I think just kids, I haven't seen this on adults, they put a belt around you. And on the belt, there's 2 strings on each side, and there's a coach over here and another coach over here, and they're holding the string. And then you kind of practice doing backflips. And the more you do it, even though you have the belt on, the easier it becomes because your body starts learning that motion. And so even if, I think you should think of yourself like as a kid trying to learn gymnastics, and you have this belt and the tethers or whatever, and people helping you out, like even if you aren't able to do it all on your own, or sometimes like I just read craft books, or sometimes I just read over the stuff I wrote before, or sometimes I just write an idea of like a list of ideas for books or for plot things. And I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. It makes it easier because I'm at least putting myself in that mindset and in that position. And I just think of like, okay, I didn't hit like say a big word count today, but at least I had some training wheels on, right? Like I read some craft books and that gave me some comfort. I watched a craft video by a famous screenwriter on YouTube. And that's kind of like what I think of as almost like when you're riding a bike, maybe that's a better example, training wheels, right? Or like it's something to kind of ease you over the bump, but at least get you into that practice so that you're not procrastinating anymore. You're still doing it, even if you're not doing the whole thing. Would say Emily, yes. Antonia, hard to make personal time just for me and not feel guilty. Aw, did you, I hope you downloaded the self-care workbook for February. Self-care is so important. Emily, yes, that is tough. Dawn, a girl in my neighborhood took gymnastics. She taught me how to do a back walkover. Nice. Yeah, it's like, the back is really hard. Tony, yes, Tina, have to leave to pick up my son? Oh, but watching YouTube to get the rest of the info. Great. Antonio, yes. Joni, I struggle with the same thing, Antonia. All right. Number 6, we're getting there. Flexes your creativity muscle. So I think sometimes like I notice when I had a corporate day job and I had like literally the most boring job ever. Like I did human resources and I did compensation on top of it. I know I did numbers. There were other people checking my spreadsheets and it had formulas and everything. But I was so in the mindset of like black and white, doing numbers. And also, if you think about HR, it's a lot of laws, right? So what are the latest employment laws? What are the benefits laws? What are laws on sick leave? What is the law on whether or not this employee could do this for this manager or write this letter? So when I got out of my corporate day job and I went to write something fun, it was really hard. Like things weren't as fun. And I remember distinctly, and it was, and I'll tell you who it was. It was the editor at, it's a big, I don't want to say Kensington. It's an online only publishing firm. Anyways, there was a romance publishing firm and I'd written what I thought was an amazing scene of an office scene. And it was a romance office scene. And she looked at it and she goes, it was like one of those critique circles that I had paid to do. She goes, this would never happen I'm like, what are you talking about? This would never happen. I work in corporate America every single day, right? Like, this totally happened. I just wrote an employee up for this. Like, this is what it looks like in a real office. And she's like, yeah, but it's not fun and nobody wants to read it. And it doesn't seem like, she's like, it doesn't seem realistic, right? So I was so into the mindset of like corporate America and like black and white. I wasn't able to really be creative because I was only writing maybe like once a quarter. I would aim to write once a week, then I aimed to write once a month, and then pretty much I only wrote if NaNoWriMo happened to come along, and that was it. So I think just, it's kind of like, I don't know if anyone has ever had this experience, but I come from the 90s. And if I talked about this once there's like movies in the 90s are like that, or 2000s is Mean Girls, right? Like everybody's catty, everyone's talking about each other, everyone's kind of sarcastic. And that's like, honestly, that was my experience in high school. And all of a sudden now there's this other movie. What was it called? It was, there was these two girls. It was hilarious. But it just came out last year. And they were so like nice to each other and they were always giving each other compliments, right? So it's kind of like things have shifted, right? And I'm so used to that negativity as almost like a bonding thing, and insulting each other as when you're friends is like funny, and I don't even know, it doesn't make any sense. But I worked really hard on like shutting that away and being positive, because I don't want to be like that kind of person. And I do see more benefits from being that happy, like genuinely just joyful kind of person that always gives other people compliments and looks on the good side versus the bad side. And it was honestly a process, and it took a lot of practice. Like I had to, and I know this sounds silly, I don't think I've ever told anyone this, I had to consciously, I remember I have a thought like, wow, that outfit is like, I can't, did you just come from Goodwill? Right? Like that would naturally come out of my brain. Like it was something funny, but obviously that would be very insulting and very hurtful. And I remember thinking those thoughts and thinking, I cannot say that because that is mean, Lisa. And instead you should say something nice. Like, I really like that outfit, or that color looks great on you. And it was really hard for me in the beginning. Like now it's not a big deal. But when I first made the switch, it like took a huge effort. So I think the same thing comes with writing and being creative and putting yourself, especially if you write fiction, obviously if you do nonfiction, it's probably a little different. But just putting yourself into that mindset of thinking the right thoughts for the book that you're writing, especially if you write paranormal and having to think about paranormal versus romance. I see a lot of comments. So yeah, I mean, for me, it was like really, really tough. Oh, missed comments. Veronica, I can't seem to make writing what I really want to write stick as a habit. Yeah, I mean, every day you get a new chance to try again. So, just because it hasn't happened in the past doesn't mean it can't happen this year. Joni, my Dutch autocorrect. Didn't even notice. Emily, what do you want to write, Joni? Lynn, I struggle with this. I'm still stuck in essay mode from college. Yeah, it's true. Like sometimes like you get in that essay mode or writing like these boring research papers, right? Joni likes to mess with me. Emily, I struggle with self-doubt myself. Like, would anyone else want to read what I enjoy? Yeah, it's true. Sometimes I'm writing and I'm like, this is so stupid. No one's going to read it. Let me just quit now, right? And I'm going to go, well, for me, I'm like, I'm going to go bake a cake or something to like make myself feel better. So I totally get that. Dawn, self-replication. I know what you mean. Veronica, me too, Emily. Thanks. Karen, I write marketing, copy, blogs, then have to shake off the business energy to try and get into a different sort of creative writing mode. Yeah, it's very true. Emily, I need more author friends in my life. Joni, I write YA books. Emily, I was going to say it's nice to have writer friends, but I don't have any writer friends here in San Diego. I just have creative entrepreneur friends. And I honestly think there's nothing more important than having positive friends. Even if they don't write, it doesn't even matter. Like all of my friends, none of whom are writers, all like when I said I was switching over to Cozy, they're like, that's amazing. You should totally do that. Or I said, I'm worried about my novel. They're like, it's totally going to sell. Everyone's going to love it. So I really think just kind of how I was talking about like making the switch from a 90s mean girl over to like a positive, more millennial mindset, that's way more important than having other writer friends. So, I wouldn't worry that you don't have writer friends because I don't either around here. And so it's just, you just want positive friends, whether they write or not. Joni, I write YA books. Hush, I also get stuck in essay mode. Diana, that's my issue. My story has so many holes. It's okay. My story has so many holes. Antonia, chocolate. Yes, I love chocolate. Joni, do my debut published in the Netherlands last year. Awesome. Karen, that's fantastic. Diana, all of my friends tell me write it and they'll read it. Yeah, see? Good friends. You have a good circle of friends. Joni, thanks, Karen. Emily, that's awesome. Diana, I got lucky. Emily, that made me feel better, Lisa. You're right. Yes. Good. Denise, so true. Every day is a new chance. Just keep writing. We can do this. Aw, thanks, Denise. All right. So let's go on to number 7, which is it puts you one step closer to being a pro. So I don't know if you've ever listened to Nora Roberts speak. She doesn't speak a lot. She doesn't do YouTube. She doesn't really do podcasts. She doesn't chat, like I think she's not super social. Not that she's mean, but I heard her talk and she's like, I don't have time to do those things because I'm writing. She's like, so I'm just always writing. Do I have time to do this? She had like an example. No, because I need to write. Do I have time to do that? She's like, no, because I need to write. She is always, always, always writing. And she is obviously a millionaire from it. She's very successful. And I think like a lot of people who I shouldn't say a lot, almost everybody who writes and has been successful writes, right? Like writers write, they are writing professionally. Like they are totally okay with saying no. And I know when I first started over to my new like full-time creative entrepreneur life, it was really hard for me to say no to people, like, because I didn't have a day job. It's so easy with the day job. You're like, I have to work. Nobody questions it. But when you are able to make your own hours, all of a sudden everyone's like, what are you talking about? There, you have nothing. You can write later. Let's go out to dinner, or you can write later. Let's go to brunch. So it's like, this is the first year ever when people have asked me to do things during my writing time, I just say no because I have to write. And I don't entertain like I used to. Like I used to feel like I had to make excuses for people that would be okay for them to understand. But now I don't. I'm just like, I have to write. They're like, couldn't you write later? I'm like, I could, but then I wouldn't be a writer. I would just be someone who is like kind of hanging out and just does stuff when her friends don't want her to hang out or she has free time. So I think if you can just say you're going to write every day, I think it becomes easier to have those boundaries with people to say no. It's just like when I work out every day, like people want to do something late at night. And I'm like, I can't. I literally say this, I can't because I have a 6 a.m. class tomorrow. So I don't know if you saw my Insta stories this morning. I did the 5 a.m. class and, people were like, someone wanted to go out last night and grab a drink. And I'm like, I can't because I'm going to bed at 8:30 so that I can make it to the 5 a.m. And so I think there's a mindset shift where all of a sudden this is like what you do. And once it's something that you do, you no longer need to like make excuses or feel less than because you want to do it versus like saying this is kind of like, this is just what I do every day. It's a non-negotiable. So let me check comments. Joni, I do free writing in the morning. Nice. Emily, I try to journal, but my mornings are rushed. Veronica, usually I journal daily every morning, every evening, right before dinner or right before going to bed, recap what happened that day. Yeah, I think everybody's different. I am 100% a morning person. Like as soon as I've had dinner, I'm kind of like done for the day, right? Like 6 o'clock rolls around, I order takeout or I go pick something up. I don't like cooking. So then I watch a show maybe with dinner or read a book, and then that's it for the night. I like just kind of hang out and go to bed. I'd rather wake up at 4 a.m. and start my day than try to do stuff and get things done late at night. So, but everyone's different. My friend Lauren is totally a night person and it's really hard. We never have brunch unless it's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but she will like get going, she says, right around 8 o'clock or 9. That's like when her power starts going, and then she'll go till 2 or 3 in the morning. So everyone's different. So like, just because I'm a morning person, don't feel bad if you're not. Like, that's definitely also not what I'm saying. Just go with like your own rhythm and what works with you. Dawn, I've got to get back to doing my 3 pages of morning pages of morning pages. Yeah, if that works for you, that sounds great. Antonia, prioritize. Emily, oh, I heard morning pages. They sound so useful. The Artist Way from Antonio. Asha, I love morning pages too. Dawn, they are Emily. I can purge all my anxieties and all those creativity blocks onto the page and move on. Good. Chris, morning pages are great. Fresh mind. Diana, I have to have coffee before I can even function. That's funny. Emily, same about coffee. Yeah, I'm so glad I never got into coffee. Like I didn't try not to. I remember my parents drinking it and just thinking that's like, I don't know. I remember being a kid and being like, that's what old people do. They drink coffee. And then I did not grow up, thank God, with Starbucks. If I had grown up with Starbucks, I would probably be a coffee person. But Starbucks really didn't become popular until I was already an adult, like 24, 25 or something. So if you consider that an adult. Joni, I'm a morning person because it's the only time of the day that I totally get to myself. Oh yeah, that's good. Asha, I'm a night owl, so my morning pages are more like afternoon pages. Joni, I even set my alarm for 5 a.m. just for that me time. Good. Emily, not a morning person, but I'm trying to become one. Jesse, I am definitely not a morning person, no matter how hard I try. Yeah, I saw, like, if you ever follow Jesse on Insta stories, I'm like, how is she still awake? Because it's like 3 hours ahead. She's like writing pages, finishing editing, and it's like 1 a.m. Emily, hey, Jesse. Yeah, Jesse, I prefer the dark and quiet of night, knowing everyone is sleeping and my creative mind comes alive. Yeah, that's good. That's a great example. Joni, not a coffee person, tea addict over here. Nice. I love tea too. I also love lattes. I'm so sad I can't have sugar. I have like 3 drinks of a latte and then I have to give it to one of my friends. Marilyn, coffee and B are two acquired tastes. Oh, tea. Coffee and tea are two acquired tastes I never cared to acquire. Oh, good. You're not an addict to anything. Diana, I started drinking it because we didn't have any medicine for my asthma. So my mom would make me black cup of coffee. Now I just have it morning and night with a little milk and sweet and low. Huh. I didn't know that coffee helps asthma. That's interesting. So yeah, let's go on. You guys ready for the giveaway? I know you guys are so good now about commenting. I feel like everyone's like, I need to comment because otherwise I won't win something. So the giveaway for the first one is the Goal Crazy Planner. And yes, it doesn't matter if you're international, I will ship to you, so don't worry. I need 2 numbers. I know Jesse. Jesse, give me a number between 1 and 20. And Marilyn, give me a number between 20 and 40. And I will export the chat log. Why can I not find? And I'll use Microsoft Excel because as we know, I can't count. Even if I could count, that would take forever. Okay, 17 and 39. Let's get out the calculator. 17 plus 39, 166. Okay, so let me open up the chat. And, oh, here. I will share it with you so you guys can see. Application window. What number did I say? I said 166. All right, so let's go down here to 166. Is that right? Did I add that right? 17 plus 39. I totally did not add that right. Hold on. 17 plus 39 is 56. I was like, that seems a little high. All right, 56. Here we go. 56, 56. Joni. Okay, Joni won it. Yay! So you have the Goal Crazy Planner. So Joni, email me at lisa@lisalatte.com. It's just that easy. Tell me that you won the Goal Crazy, because sometimes I forget like who won what, and then send me your mailing address and send me your phone number, because for whatever reason, I think it's easier if they add the phone number in case it gets lost. The tracking people can call you. And yeah, I think you said you're in the Netherlands. So make sure I have all the information so I know how to send a package to the Netherlands. All right, let's go. Back to our slides. Okay, so let's talk about the club because I'm really excited about this. So let's go to how it's going to work. So this is really easy. How it's going to work. Let me share the slides with you. That would help. My eyeliner is drawing. Hmm. Did you guys ever sometimes when I'm on like when I do what do you call it? When I FaceTime with people, especially when I FaceTime with Jessie, she's talking and I'm like, oh my God, there's eyeliner there. Oh, I totally did that. There's like a mark on my face. Sometimes I'm looking at myself instead. I will try to stop doing that. All right. So here's how it's going to work. You get 3 live sessions. So the first one is just going to be our kickoff, and it's going to be this Thursday, the 30th, because on Friday, January 31st, I am going to my friend Camila's live event. It is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm going to be there all 3 days. And I wanted to get you guys kicked off and really start planning, like, how would that right every day look like for you? Because not everybody's a morning person. So we'll go over different scenarios. We'll like map out your ideal week. We'll also map out what's called a disaster backup plan, because you know how those ideal weeks work out. They sometimes don't. So we'll map all of that out this Thursday. And then on Monday, February 17th, so we'll do a mid-month check-in. How is everything going? Talk about how to readjust and kind of flex and go with the flow. Because I think like usually at the 2-week mark, whether it is starting a new goal like fitness or a new diet or anything like that, that's usually when people start to die off. They're like, you know what? Hasn't been working. See ya. I'm gonna try something new that I can succeed at. So we'll talk in the mid-month about like, what does that look like? How are things going? And what can you do to kind of like, I guess, salvage the month? And then we'll do a virtual write-in together. So if you've got no words at all for the whole month, you will get words in on Monday, February 17th. We'll do those together. And then the third session on Saturday, February 29th will be our wrap-up. So we will do an end of month wrap up. We'll talk about what's next, how the month went, what went well, what didn't go so well, what kind of things in the monthly Write Every Day Club you wish had been there that weren't, or things that were there. Like if I emailed you every week, was that kind of annoying? And we'll talk about just what would make things better for you and for the club in general. And then what we're going to do for March and the months after that. So we're not going to do a Facebook group only because 2 things. I'm not really a Facebook group person, and 2, comments just get lost in the shuffle. And I just kind of feel like if we have a Facebook group, it will encourage you to 1, go on social media, which is not what we want to do. And 2, I just think that there's a better way to do it. We'll just have a regular, it looks like a Q&A forum like Discus or anything else inside of the membership. So I know sometimes people use what's called Slack. I find Slack confusing. I don't know what's going on. I have to like learn a whole new system and the different hashtags and the different mini groups. And like, it's like way too much. It's like great, I think, for large corporations, but for our small group, I don't think we need it. So we're not going to do that. Also, when you sign up, if you want, because sometimes I know people want some more one-on-one help, you can sign up for what I have called a story idea critique. So basically, you send to me everything that you're thinking about your story. Doesn't have to be synchronous. Like we don't have to pick up a time to meet. You send me all the information and I will get back to you with like, here are ways that I think you can improve it. Here are some character changes I would make. Here are some tropes I would think about adding in here. And that's super easy. You just put all your ideas there. You kind of just do a brain dump or send me whatever you have. And then I will send you back a critique. So it's kind of like a little mini working session. KM Weiland, if you are familiar with her, her first name, fun fact, is actually Katie. But Katie has a lot of books on story structure and plotting and outlining. And she did a workshop for me a while ago. And so that is on sale as well. So all of these products you see right here are 50% off. If at mid-month, we'll talk about this at the kickoff session. At mid-month, if you're like, you know what, I just need some help. Like I just want another sounding board or someone to just tell me if I'm on the right course or not, or just give me another perspective. I will also have critiques, just 5,000 words, just kind of chat, talk about how you're going. Same thing as a story idea critique. You send it to me, I will send it back. I'll do like a video like this. I will talk through it and I'll have like points for you that you can follow in an outline as well. So all of those are available. So you're probably wondering what the cost is. I don't know if you can see this, but it's free. So I went back and forth on this and I was like, maybe I'll make a low offer. But really, I think the most important thing when you start something like this is I'm not sure what will work for you. Like, I honestly know what will work for me, and that's not going to help you, right? So let's try to work together and figure out what's going to help all of us. And so it is free for the whole month of February. The only thing that I ask is that you complete the surveys. So like I get some feedback, that you participate in the forum, that you're positive, like we talked about. So don't be me from high school, like the 90s mean girl, and that you offer suggestions, right? Like whether it's to another person in the group, it's to how the program could be made better, things that you think would be nice to have or add, or just suggestions in general, like, hey, Lisa, your eyeliner doesn't seem like it's working for you. Maybe you should pick a different one because it keeps running every time we have these webinars. In fact, I even stopped wearing eyelashes during the webinar because the last webinar we did at the beginning of January, nobody told me. You guys are so nice and polite. I had one eyelash on and I had one eyelash off. It had fallen off at some point. I don't know what happened. So one eye was huge, one was not. Nobody said anything. We went through the whole webinar, and yeah. So any suggestions I am open to. Joni, that's amazing. Free happy dance over here. Wow, that is so helpful. You're awesome. Great. I'm so glad you're excited. So yes, all you have to do is complete the survey. And even then, at the end of the survey, I have a free gift for you. It is because I do graphic design. I used to do graphic design for authors, actually. I used to make logos. So I have the author logo checklist. So you will get that free after you complete the survey. So Jesse, the style of waterproof eyeliner is amazing, just saying. Yeah, I definitely need a waterproof. I've been using a gel eyeliner. I blame it on my like Asian eyelash or eyelids because I have monolids. Diana, I love you. Veronica, cool. Okay. Asha, I make logos for my work too. Awesome. Yeah, I stopped making logos because honestly, I was like, I don't know the design process. Like people were like, oh, they were like me. They were like, oh, so I've decided not to write romance. I'm going to write cozy mysteries. So you need to redesign that logo. It was like driving me crazy. I'm not good at client management. I don't know if anyone saw my last video where I was baking. I am terrible also at like cat and dog, like discipline. Like when the cat's bad, I just kiss him and cuddle him. Like there's certain things I'm just not good at. All right. Are you guys ready for giveaway number 2? So now we need 2 numbers. So I need a number this time between, let me get this right, 10 and 30 from somebody, whoever writes it first, and another number between 30 and 50. All right, 23 and 15. No, let's go with the higher number. Okay, 23 and 42. Let's do that. Okay, let me add it up. 23 plus 42. Wouldn't that be funny if Joni won both? Let's go over here. So that's 65. I think we can use the same window. Or the same sheet, because I don't think it went that high. All right, 65 is Joni. I was totally joking when I said that. Wouldn't it be funny if Joni won both? But she did win both, so congratulations, Joni. That's pretty funny. All right, so I won't write my email address again because you have it. Joni knows what the email address is. And then if you want to sign up, so in your workbook, there is a link for you to sign up. It's a secret link. I will post it later. It's not like super secret, but yeah, for sure, sign up when you get in there. So here's what you want to do next. 2 things. So the first thing you want to do, sign up. It's free. It's not even like one of those trick things where like you need to put a credit card in, and but it's free for it's just totally free. I just need your email address. So sign up, and then once you sign up, you'll see the 3 virtual like workshops where we're kind of meeting. It'll be the same forum here on Crowdcast. It just won't be posting over to YouTube at the same time. It'll only be inside here. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to sign up for all 3, even if you can't make it, because you'll automatically get the replay. Now, I've tried to schedule them. So one is during the day, one is in the evening, one is on the weekend. So we'll talk about that too at the end, like what times really work for a lot of people. And it's hard because I know some of you are international. So 5 p.m. for me might be like 2 a.m. for you. But if you're like Jesse, it won't matter because you'll be up at 2 a.m. doing work. However, we'll try to pick like different times. Probably each, my thought is like all 3 times each month will be at different times anyway, just to be fair to everybody who joins, unless everyone joins happens to be from the Netherlands or something, since Joni clearly is like on a great streak. So that is kind of what that's what you want to do. Just sign up for all 3. And then the second thing you want to do is you'll see inside there, it's really easy. It says step 1, step 2. Step 2 is just complete the survey. And that's really it for right now. Today's Tuesday, and I will talk to you guys again on Thursday at 5 o'clock for the kickoff, and we'll do our planning session. Sound good? Don, Joni needs to play the lottery. Yeah, like things happen 3 in a row. So I think you should go buy one, even like buy one of those scratch cards. I don't know. Do they have those in the Netherlands? And like, just try it out. I don't know. Ask for a raise at work. Just ask for anything free. You clearly are having a really good day. Whatever moons, horoscope, things are all aligned for you. All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining, guys. I know I took up an hour. I said I would do 30. You know how I am. I feel like you just kind of know this. But I think if I had aimed for an hour, we probably would have still been here another 2 hours. So, all right. I will talk to you guys on Thursday. And yeah, have a great rest of your Tuesday. Bye. Hmm.